Hey, James. Hey,
How's it
what's
going?
good? Thank you. What's it like running a route with Minka Fitzpatrick playing center field for you?
It kind of makes it a little more challenging. Just from his skill set and everything that he brings to the table. He's a smart player, and his attributes are one of the best. So, you definitely have to be cognizant of where he's at in the middle of the field when you're running your routes.
Brooke Pryor.
Hey, James, I know you were on the COVID list for a little bit at the beginning of camp. Just curious, was it a situation where you just tested positive? Were you symptomatic? What was it like kind of dealing with all of the protocols and everything that went into that?
It's just kind of one of those early stage deals. They're just still trying to figure stuff out. But as far as everything else, that's kind of Coach Tomlin's department. So I'm gonna let him speak on that a little better for me.
Mike Pizzuta.
James, you were pretty hard on yourself last year after the Jets game, that play in the end zone at the end of the game. Do you think differently about it now? Did you review that kind of thing in the offseason, and does it have any impact on you going into this year?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's one of those plays that you get remembered for forever. So any receiver, I feel like, who's not able to come down with that catch will dwell on it for a little bit. But it's all good. We're in a new year now, and we're just honored to be able to play football in these conditions. So we're going to come out and give it our all every single game.
Teresa Varley.
Morning, James. You talked about, this offseason we talked, and when you were working on the farm, you lost weight again. You were able to even get in better shape. How's that paying off for you, in these early stages of training camp so far?
I feel a lot lighter out there running around. I feel a little more explosive coming off the ball. Just being able to jump is night and day different, it feels like. And, I just feel like an all-around new person, when you shed some weight like that and kind of lean down just a little bit more. So it's all paying off.
Jerry Dulac.
Hey, James, you talk about your ability to jump. Is that something when you elevate to go after the ball? Is that something, I know it kind of comes naturally, but also is that something you worked on? Where did you develop that?
I would say, just growing up, I was more of a basketball player, and I didn't have the best handles, but I developed them over the years. And so I played low post, so I was always jumping and getting rebounds and stuff. So I guess it kind of went hand in hand.
Will Graves.
Sorry, James. I'm still trying to get over the idea of you playing low post and not the biggest guy around. Yeah, just curious. It's year 3. Does it feel a little bit like the clock is starting to tick and that you kind of have to maybe take a significant step forward this year in terms of your performance to kind of show that you can be the playmaker they thought they were getting when they drafted you?
It is year 3, but, I never want to add extra pressure to myself. All I can do is just go out and try to get better each and every day with the offense and, get on the same page with Seven and earn his trust. And, the rest will take care of itself.
Mark Cavalli.
Hey, James. I'm just thinking about what do you think of Ben? And you've been with him, week or 2 weeks now. What have you thought? What did you think his arm was going to be like compared to maybe what it is like? Was there any difference? Were you kind of surprised of how quickly he's come along?
I figured, with the surgery, everything he went through, he would come back a brand new person, and it's definitely showing. He's throwing the ball great and doing everything great. And, the other day during the scrimmage, it was You know, it was kind of nice to see Seven back in the game jersey and his pads and stuff. You know, it just last year, you know, I enjoyed everything, but it was just different not having him there. So it was good to see him back out there.
Back to Brooke Pryor.
Yeah, James, going off of that, you mentioned wanting to be on the same page as Ben this year. How is your connection developing at this point through camp? You obviously got to work with him 2 years ago. Last year, like you said, was different. Are you picking up where you left off? Do you notice that your connection is stronger just a couple weeks into camp? How would you kind of describe that?
I think everything's been going good. You know, we've connected a few times here and there. And, you know, we just have to just try to keep that chemistry going and spread it throughout the entire offense because we got a lot of weapons. So, you know, I think we'll be just fine this year.
Chris Carter.
Hey, James, you talked about how you got leaner and you've been working on things, but what's some of the aspects that you focused on the most this offseason when you couldn't be with the team and now that you're back with the team as far as things that you saw, I need to improve these things specifically?
First off, I would just say my stance and start, you know, coming off the ball quicker, getting to the route quicker, being available for the quarterback early on, you know, in your route if you need to, you know, and then just sharpening up, you know, skills in the playbook, you know, and just studying that, making sure that I know what I'm doing at all times at every position.
Brian Batko.
Yeah, James, just first one to ask you, you said you slimmed down. What are you weighing now as you start camp?
I'm about 208, 207 somewhere, and it kind of fluctuates, you know, depending on how much water intake and everything I have. But, you know, like I say, I definitely feel leaner and lighter for sure.
Jenna Harder.
James, you mentioned all the weapons you guys have. Just how high is the ceiling for this offense heading into this season?
It's very high. I mean, especially with Seven back there throwing the ball to us. You know, we have guys at every position, from every position that touches the ball, and even our line. I mean, we have a great group of guys, and I feel like, you know, if everything's clicking and everyone's on the same page, we can do something special.
All right, two more here. So we're going to go with Chris Adamski.
Hey, James, speaking of that, how do you guys – I know every camp's kind of like this, but your room, I mean, do you need to be all in specific roles? You know, you, Deontay, Chase, whoever it is, Switz in the wide receiving core, or does it matter? Does everybody play every position? How do you guys kind of shake out the division of labor there, as Mike Tomlin would say?
You know, I feel like everyone is interchangeable. There may be a few things there where it's a certain person. But other than that, I feel like we all kind of go hand in hand. And you know, when one's down, one just steps right up and gets in there and gets the job done.
Your last question for Will Graves.
James, you know, you talked about your leaping ability earlier. I remember last year, you know, you were getting advice from guys to not rely on that so much, to run through routes. And I think they were talking specifically maybe about that play in Denver when you were a rookie. Do you feel you have a better idea of how to use your athleticism and routes than maybe a year or two ago, and sort of what did you do to sort of get to that point?
For sure. I mean, and a lot of that from rookie year was a lot of nerves and then, you know, just not wanting to let Seven down. So I wouldn't quite put it that way, but, you know, I have sharpened a few skills and just going to continue to do that every single day and get to where I need to be.
Hey, Chooks, two-part question here for you. What did you work on most during the offseason that you thought you had to improve on to win that starting job? And just what is it like every day going out there and competing with Zach, knowing that you know, time is short and one of you are going to earn that job fairly soon?
I would say my hands, just, you know, having film from like last year in terms of in camp and during last year's games against the Rams. I kind of have a tendency to kind of have my hands out, so I'm trying to having it like tighter. And with that, it's like every day, it's like it doesn't matter if I'm with the ones or with the two, it doesn't really matter. Just kind of go in there every day, kind of there. If it's indie, if it's team, if it's 7 shots, just keep on doing my best.
All righty, let's go to Dale Lally. Dale, go ahead. Hey, Chooks, you had the labrum surgery after your rookie year. Were you at any point held back by that last year still, and is that completely recovered now?
I don't want to make an excuse for last year in terms of it being a problem, but there was a little pain last year if it's like during camp or anything. But it was tough for sure. But now I feel great. So.
Hey, Chooks, I noticed that David DeCastro hasn't been practicing, at least since we've been out and you guys have been in pads. How much does that impact him not being out there, impact what you guys are able to do and getting comfortable with the line as a unit this season?
I mean, I think it's obviously different not having Dave out there just because Dave has been here for eight and 9 years now. So it's kind of it's kind of different feel. But then again, you also never know, like you don't know what could happen. So it's kind of also nice having to play against or play with different guys.
All righty, let's go to Joe Rutter. Joe, go ahead.
How much do you think the experience against the Rams and the year before against Denver, how much has that helped you as you've been trying to get ready for this competition?
I mean, I think there's obviously a difference between practice and games. So as much games as you play, you kind of feel a little bit more like, I don't know if you feel safer or better, you just kind of know what to expect. Like this practice is different in terms of like the speed of the game. So every more games you play, I think you just kind of feel, you kind of have a sense of like, okay, this is going to happen or this might happen or something like that.
All righty, we'll move on to Jim Wexel. Jim, go ahead.
Hey, Chooks.
Hey.
I see Banner getting some work on the jugs gun. Do you do any of that at all, just in case? And who has better hands?
I mean, I have no idea. That's kind of him being him. So.
All righty, let's move on to Mike Prisuta. Mike, go ahead.
Jukes, in terms of the competition periods, 11-on-11 stuff, 7 shots, the running game period, red zone, who's winning, the offense or the defense?
Man, I want to say the offense, but then again, every day is kind of different in terms of maybe one day defense might have a little bit more juice or maybe win a little bit more plays than us. But so it kind of goes both ways.
All righty, let's go to Mark Caboli. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, Chooks, I know you're buddies with Zach. I'm just curious, what is it like battling for a job with a good friend? Has it changed your relationship? You guys hanging out as much? Is that a difficult situation?
No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like, we all have to kind of come in here every day if we're best friends or if we were never really friends and kind of have the same mindset. So nothing changed, really.
All righty, we'll go back to Aditi. Aditi, go ahead.
Hi, I'm so sorry about earlier. When you think about the fact that there aren't preseason games, so there's a piece of competition that's missing, and you have a defense that loves to talk trash, and this is whether it's TJ or Mike Hilton or whoever, even Minka was just talking trash to us. How much of a difference does that make? And do you feel like you feed off of them a little bit? And you guys seem a little quieter. Is there anyone on offense that's talking trash back?
I mean, I think offense is kind of just more used to kind of just being quiet and kind of going there to work every day. So I don't think that would change in terms of us going out there and being the loud ones. But it's for sure different. Not having any preseason games, but then again, having someone like Bud or Watt every day, going against them every day, obviously helps out. So.
All righty, let's move on to Tim Benz. Tim, go ahead.
Jukes, it could have been very easy for the team to just leave Matt at right tackle. They drafted a guard. They signed a guy who can play guard, Wisniewski, but they seemed really interested in giving both you and Zach a shot at that right tackle position. What does that say in terms of the team's faith in you guys to give this a chance to play out for both of you, even though they have some other options?
I would say at the end of the day, our job is to help this team win. So if it's me at tackle, if it's Matt at tackle, if it's Ben at tackle, the plan is to have the best 5 out there.
All right, we'll move on to Jeff Hathorn. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Chooks, just wondering, what did you learn from watching Matt Filer last year and just overall, just having that year to kind of study what he was doing, and how is that going to help you in this competition?
I think watching him all last year kind of helped, because most tackles kind of, when they see someone like out wide, or maybe see someone who's kind of strong or whatever, they kind of want to go chase a guy kind of there. But Matt always kind of was smooth. He really like trip out if he had someone who's like a well-known person or whatever. He kind of had the same set. So that's kind of my main thing, not just to kind of figure out the best set every time.
All right, we got time for a couple more. Let's go to Brian Bacco. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Chooks. Obviously, we know what Bud can do. We've seen TJ play at an all-pro level. Is there anybody who's caught your eye so far that's maybe new or is in line for a bigger role on the defense?
Alex, I would say him kind of showing a little bit of flash every couple plays, but like it's not about it. He's kind of new. He's really new, so it takes time. Whether that means him knowing what to do on defense, and after he kind of knows everything, he's gonna play faster. But I think him.
All righty, we'll go to Noah Strackbean. Noah, go ahead.
Hey, Jukes. So I know you and Zach are obviously in a competition and everything's still friendly, but are you guys still, working out, studying, just doing like the normal teammate stuff, even though you are competing for a job right now?
Yeah. Like I said, everything is kind of all business. And when it's here, it's kind of more business. So you kind of have to go in every day, whether it's me and Zach watching film or the whole team watching film, kind of does. So nothing changed really.
All right, we'll wrap it up. We'll go back to Joe Rutter for one, and then we'll finish up with Chooks. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, Chooks, without the preseason, and you have so many limited practices here, are you able to tell whether you're getting what you need to be done or what you have to work on? Can you tell your progress without having a game situation?
I would say yes and no, just because, like I said, there's nothing better than games. So it's obviously different not having an actual game. So it's kind of, but like every day you kind of have the mindset to kind of fix something every day. If it's your hands, if it's your feet or your eyes or something. So you kind of have the mindset to kind of fix something every day. If it's going against Bud, TJ, Alex, all that, it doesn't really matter who you just want to try and fix something every day.